Hi everyone, it's Belinda. I've already filmed this video once and I talked for too long that my camera cut me off and it was a bit of a mess, so I've decided to refilm. Let me know in the comments down below if you like shorter planner videos or if you like the really long ones. I've been watching a lot of Hobonichi videos at the moment and a lot of them are over 20 minutes, some of them are even over 30 minutes, and I'm on school holidays, so I've got time to be able to watch them, and I have really been enjoying them and learning a lot and getting a lot of good ideas. But when it comes to filming my own, I don't know, I don't think I could even upload something of that length. Our internet connection here is pretty bad and I have enough trouble uploading a 10-minute video, so I'm going to try and keep this short. But what I wanted to do was to show you what I've been using in terms of my planners since One Book July finished. One Book July was a bit of a fail for me in that I tried to use a bullet journaling kind of system in the Leuchtturm and combine some more creative things like collaging, I'm just not a drawer, with planning, and it was fine. It was working fine while I was on holidays, but I couldn't cope with it once I was back at work, which was the last week of July. So those last few days of holidays and once I started back at work, I was really struggling with that. So I had to move back into these guys. So I thought I'd quickly just take you on a flip through and tell you what I was using. And then I think in my next video, I'll tell you what's changing, because I've already spoken for 2 minutes and not said a thing really. So let's get into it. You've seen all of this before. So August, I have these calendar pages that I found on Pinterest and I downloaded, and I really like them, but the boxes aren't quite big enough for me. I didn't have my July inserts. I don't know what I did with them. So for the last 2 days of July, I had to just use these lined pages. So that was fine. It was only 2 days. And so what these inserts are, I've spoken about them before. They are the Debden brand inserts. I got them probably around April. It was around Easter time, I suppose, maybe a bit later when I got them, and they are a day to 2 pages, and so you have your notes section, information and data, priorities, phone calls, follow-up and reminders, and then appointments and events with a schedule that goes from 7 AM to 7 PM. And so I tend to do mind sweeps and put events and things that I need on this right-hand page. This is always where I start, and then I will take the information from here and schedule it out onto this page. I will usually identify my priorities. I don't usually make phone calls. I actually, it's not a phobia of speaking on the phone, but I avoid it as much as possible. I really dislike speaking on the phone. So sometimes I will just imagine that says emails, and I'll jot some emails down in there, and then follow up and reminders. And then what I've been doing is putting in my school schedule. I'm a teacher, so this day I had double period of year 9 in the morning, followed by a recess break for half an hour, followed by a double period of year 11, followed by lunch, and then a meeting, and then I had to do bus duty. I bought these new highlighters. They're the Stabilo brand in the pastel colors, and they're absolutely gorgeous, but I cannot cope with that amount of color on a page. I find it really distracting. These ones were the mild liners. I can cope with those colors a little bit better. So you can see here, just a whole heap of things here. Like I said, this is where I start, and then I prioritize ABC. I try not to list more than 3 or 4 things on this side if I can. And this was working quite fine. However, I'd used too much color. I'd made it too messy. I was becoming overwhelmed. I wasn't utilizing it as much as I could, and I thought, this is a little bit crazy. There's so much white space here. I try not to work on weekends, which is why they are often left blank. I needed to buy a cauliflower. That's something that you need to jot down in your planner. Anyway, so this is what was happening, and then I decided, well, there's so much wasted space here. I'm not using this properly. why don't I go into the Malden? And I'd used all this color and I couldn't cope. So I thought I'll go back to the Malden. I miss using the Malden. And let me skip straight through to September. I have these Day on a Page. Again, the Debden brand. Because I bought them so late into the year, they were only a few dollars. And I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to cope with this. I've tried using these before and I really couldn't cope with having this time schedule down here on the left side of the page. And you can see the pages just filled up too quickly. There wasn't enough room on there for me. It was too overwhelming. I didn't have the space to do what I needed to do and what I like to keep track of. So I pulled out this little Word notebook and started using it with the planner, and I would just slip it in there. I think I was inspired to do that after watching, is it Brandy Michelle Plans, who uses a little notebook as well. And I've had these notebooks for years. I've got a lot of notebooks in this size. I really like them. And because it's not precious, see, I've had this one since 2015. I don't mind making a mess of them and scribbling in them and just crossing things out, making notes. There's no, you know, it's all just completely as it comes to me. And I really quite like using this system, because then I was able to just mind sweep, brain dump, whatever you want to say on here, and then take what I needed from here that needed to be planned or scheduled, and then use the Malden. And I really liked that, and that's something that I'm still using. And I actually am now back into the A5 for work purposes, and I'm using the Malden for personal purposes, and the little notebook, the Word notebook, goes between the two. So I'll just stick it in there like that as well. So what I had decided was I wasn't utilizing any of the dividers and sections I had in the A5, and I didn't have any blank inserts and pages and things to go in here to be able to really make something of it, and they're not that easy to find where I live. And I just was never really inspired to make these divider section work properly for me. It's all a bit of a shambles, really. And I had seen everybody talking about Peanuts Planner Co. I think I'm very late to the party with Peanuts Planner Co. But I decided to give them a try. I'm not usually a print and punch your own inserts kind of person, but I thought I would give it a go. So I bought a few different sets. I bought the week on 2 pages, and I bought the menu, and I think a savings tracker and the health log. These ones I'd printed, my printer was running out of ink, and it printed in this red, but I actually really like the way that looks. And I love these inserts. I love having the week on 2 pages here. I have always missed with my Filofaxes having a weekly view. I really need the monthly, weekly and daily pages. So I liked these, and I was keeping this for personal stuff and work stuff in the A5, and in my Word notebook going between the two, like I said. But I don't have a 6-hole punch. I don't have the best printer in the world. I am not good at printing. I have to punch each hole individually. I didn't print them back to back. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I haven't even, this one's ripped already. I haven't set up beyond this current week. I've printed the inserts, but I haven't cut them and punched them, and I'm not motivated to do that. I really like things to come ready-made. I don't have the time usually to devote to sitting there with the paper cutter or the paper trimmer and doing all of that. I will probably keep this going for personal reasons until the end of the year, but I think I've just ordered my first Hobonichi. I'll talk about that in another video, because I love the Malden, I really do, and I'm struggling with this at the moment. I can't handle the rings. I can't handle not having the right inserts. I do not want to print them myself. I don't want to pay ridiculous amounts of shipping to have them shipped here. The ones that are in Australian stores, I haven't found anything that I really like. And it's actually really heavy. It's really heavy. And I've been carrying this around in my handbag, but it's really heavy. So I'm not sure that I want to keep using it next year. I do use my divider sections in this one a little bit more. I have some random to-do pages. I have some notes. My reference section, I have a lot of phone numbers and medications, passwords to, you know, the home Wi-Fi and things like that. I did have a weight tracker. I was just making some notes. It's really just me making random notes on things. And then I printed the health records, the menu and grocery pages, which I really like. I have a couple of expense pages, but I guess, you know, when you flip through like this, I'm really not using all of that either. So I'm going to cut this video off here because otherwise I won't be able to upload it. But I just wanted to give you an update of what I've been using. Yeah, and I think is this a planner slump? I don't know what's going on. I haven't settled into a system this year, and when I think about it, the only time I really was settled into a system that I was able to sustain for the whole year was when I was using my Moleskine. I had the larger size Moleskine, and I really need to have one system for the whole year. I cannot chop and change like this because I do often need to refer back to things. I need to check dates. I need to check when things happened. I could be asked to provide my pages if there was a court case involving a student, for example, and I needed to prove that I'd had a conversation with that student, or that student wasn't at school that day or whatever. I'm supposed to keep all of these documents for years, and I don't have anywhere to store the inserts that I take out of the planner. You know, they're both very heavy, and if I keep 3 months in a time really, and then I take the rest out, and I don't have a binder to store it in. My system's been a bit of a mess this year, and it's really stressing me out. So I think I'm going to try something different next year. But you know, I've had this guy for many years, and it's, you know, been in and out of use, but I still do love it. But I think next year I'll find another use. I think next year I'm going to use that as a teacher planner, and I'm going to do a video about that. I have some inserts I'm going to use. That will probably be my next video. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please leave them for me in the comments section below. If there's anything you'd like to see more of, please let me know. I'm hoping that any upcoming videos will be a little bit more scripted perhaps than this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.